Biafra, superstars, media.
Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending, of course, from where you're hearing my voice from. To the Biafra Golden Child, and I'm super glad that we can still interact today. Yes, our, maximum leaders trials are ongoing, and of course, I'm happy via the, Biafra Superstars Media, you're getting a blow-by-blow account of what is happening every day, per minute, per second, as they would say. Yes, we make sure, we keep you abreast of, you know, everything surrounding, our prominent two leaders that are undergoing trials in two different continents. Yes, our own Mazen Namdekano, and of course, our Prime Minister of Biafra, Simon Ekpa, in the hands of the Finnish authorities. Yes, we will keep you abreast. We'll keep the information flowing, and like I said, we continue to give you a blow by blow account of what is happening, the proceedings, and everything that is in between for our two prominent leaders. Yes, a commentator called me, and told me he has listened to a lot of my audios. He has heard me talk much about Biafra, the plight of Biafra. He has heard me talk much about everything Biafra, situations in Biafra, and especially why, Biafrans should be united if we want to, achieve our aims and objectives. If we want to succeed, we need to have one common goal, one common voice, and the united action. Because, of course, we know the proverb that when we together, when we together, of course, the foam from the we is very massive indeed. Anyakoba mamani or fufu, as they would say in Igbo language. So, ladies and gentlemen, this avid listener of mine, he took pains and took time to ask me. Now, it seems, with all due respect, it seems you don't talk much about Dr. Ngozi Orabueze. Yeah, you make clearly most times you make a passing, remark about her, even though you eulogize her sometimes, even though you say we should all work for her and all hands must be on deck, to do everything to encourage her. But you don't talk much about her. I want you to devote an audio. Make an audio. Let us know, if you, yes, as a very good friend and propagate, proper, Gandhist of Biafra and the United States of Biafra. Since you talk so much about Biafra, let us know your views on Dr. Ngozi Orabueze. Is she doing a great job? What do you think she's doing so far? Is it a case of, a right peg in a right hole? Yes, let us know. Or is there any challenges you think we should know? We want you to say something about Dr. Ngozi Orabueze. Where do you place her as far as the struggle for Biafra is concerned? So, ladies and gentlemen, for the avoidance of doubt, let me make it abundantly clear to all of us, everybody, every Biafran, that I, my family, my associates, and everybody who is close to me respects and honors the great, indefatigable, uh, Deputy Prime Minister of Biafra. Yes, the Chief of Staff of Biafra, who was duly anointed, appointed, and the baton was passed to her by our own assiduous, sagacious, and savvy, fearless, bold Prime Minister. Yes, Simon Ekpa. I believe strongly too that Dr. Ngozi Orabueze is a step in the right direction as far as the Biafra struggle is concerned. Yes, when the gap was created by the incarceration, of our dearly beloved Prime Minister, Of course, she stood in gap. She was appointed to stand in gap. And I must confess, she's doing a marvelous, marvelous job. Yes, during the course of my, audios, I might not be saying much about her, but sincerely, I believe the Biafra Superstars Media has been doing enough about that. In Biafra Superstars Media, we're talking about everybody has their portfolio. Mine is to tell you my experiences in Biafra, especially during the Civil War, how it affected me, the plight that I suffered directly, and which I saw happen to our people even as a baby during that civil war between 66, 67, 68, 69, 70. Yes, I remember saying we are products, of that civil war, and we have grown with it, with everything we learned to do it, with the struggles, with the pain, with the gory sides of death all around us. We are witnesses to the fact that we saw our brothers, sisters, infants, mothers, sick and elderly, delete during that period, close to over 4.5 million of them. And so when I come and talk audios here, I'm particular about the effect and the plight of the civil war on the Biafrans, who after over 50 years now are still reeling in marginalization, are still being victimized, and are still being treated as a defeated people. No way, and that's why we say no way, enough is enough. Our people have suffered enough. It cannot continue like this. That's where we are, and that's what I come to propagate here. So yes, I'm a propagator of Biafra and the plight of Biafra and what Biafra represents. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I'm an apologist of Biafra, and I cannot in any way, under any circumstances, deny that. So yes, maybe I've not been talking much about Dr. Ngozi Orabueze, but ladies and gentlemen, I want to say it here loud and clear that Dr. Ngozi Orabueze is a prominent figure in the Biafran independence movement. An association with the United State of Biafra, the USB, suggests she's involved in advocating for Biafran rights and self-determination. Yes, this is a woman I love, and I must tell you here that Dr. Ngozi Orabueze, the Deputy Prime Minister and Chief of Staff of the United States of Biafra, USB, has faced several challenges in her role. Some of the key challenges include, yes, persecution and marginalization. Yes, Dr. Orabueze has highlighted the prolonged marginalization and, persecution of Christians in the southeast region, which has led to a significant number of killings and calls for Biafra independence. Yes, she has always insisted. She made it paramount in all her broadcasts, anytime she speaks, anytime she addresses, the Biafra United States of Biafra, she makes it very, very paramount indeed to highlight, persecution and marginalization that is going on in the southeast. Dr. Orabueze has always highlighted the prolonged marginalization and persecution of Christians in the southeast. Yes, in the southeast, and in the southeast region, which has led to a significant number of killings and calls for Biafra independence. Equally, the detention of USB leader. Yes, the detention of USB's Prime Minister Simon Ekpa, by Finnish authorities on charges of inciting terrorism has been a significant challenge for Dr. Orabueze and the USB. Yes, she has, taken every opportunity, to, admonish the Finnish authorities that they should not, descend to the point of the zoo. They shouldn't descend to the position of the zoo government in Nigeria, where a clueless government has foisted, hardship, poverty, and lack on its people. I mean, this is a country where a country that produces oil, that has oil all over its, nation, with all sorts of mineral resources, and yet the people are dying of hunger and starvation. And so, Dr. Orabueze has faced unfair vilification and criticisms, because he oftentimes tells the Finnish authorities the way it is. She lets them know that, look, Simon Ekpa is a peaceful man who is talking about the plight, of his people, who is condemning, the continued, marginalization of his people, who has brought the plight of Ndibo, the Biafrans, to the whole world, telling the authorities to please stop intimidating, stop harassing, and stop, treating my people with such reckless abandon. Simon Ekpa is not a terrorist. She has gone on long uh, uh, news media. She has gone around, give saying it loud and clear that Simon Ekpa is not a terrorist, is not a secessionist, is not a kidnapper, is not in any way a dubious person. And of course, he is telling the Finnish authorities, she's telling the Finnish authorities, to remember you are an advanced country. You are not like the zoo where people's rights, and rights and privileges are trampled under feet. I mean, one should expect that the Finnish authorities should maintain some decorum, should maintain law and order, and people's rights and privileges should never be compromised. Of course, vilification and criticisms. Yes, Dr. Orabueze has faced unfair vilification and criticisms from some quarters, with some accusing her of sabotaging the Biafra struggle, and all sorts. However, many still admire her dedication to the cause and her, international advocacy efforts, bringing Biafra the much needed, awareness, bringing them, uh, throwing light, beaming light on Biafra and the people of Biafra. So, to a very large extent, she's a very powerful woman and she deserves our kudos. Yes, we should motivate her. We should continue to eulogize her. Yes, because she has been widely vilified and criticized. Yes, unfair vilifications and criticisms from some quarters, with some accusing her of sabotaging the Biafran struggle, which she has vehemently denied, and we are with her to know that such things are not realities. Yes. Internal conflicts. There have been reports of internal conflicts within the USB, including disputes over financial management and decision making. Yes, Dr. Orabueze has addressed some of these issues. She continues to address them, including the suspension of a trusted ally of Simon Ekpa and an audit of the organization's finances. So she's not a woman who says she's not scared. She doesn't care whose ox is God. As far as the United States of Biafra is concerned, if you are found wanting, you are suspended. If you are in charge of monies, or you act in any dubious manner, of course she audits whatever you are up to. And then, if proven to be very untrustworthy, of course you have to go. But she has vigorously audited the organization's finances, and so far so good. She's doing well. International recognition. Yes, despite efforts to gain. Yes, of course, I want to talk about this international recognition thing. I want to let you know that it is under the leadership of our Chief of Staff and Deputy Prime Minister, Dr. Ngozi Orabueze, that we are getting several international recognitions. Of course, we all remember that during the inauguration of the 47th President of the United States, Mr. Donald Trump, she was invited by none other than Donald Trump himself, and she sat among the Committee of Nations. She was among those who witnessed the inauguration of the 47th President of the United States. It is equally worthy of note that the President of the zoo was not invited. Several leaders were not invited, and so for Dr. Orabueze to have a seat among the committee of people, dignitaries that were invited by Donald Trump, goes a long way to buttress the fact that she's internationally recognized and the United States of Biafra is gaining traction and recognition all over the world. Yes, but despite efforts to gain international recognition and support, the USB still faces significant challenges in achieving its goals, including gaining recognition as a sovereign state. Yes, that is the highest level of responsibility for our dear Madam, our Chief of Staff and Deputy Prime Minister. We must get the whole world, yes, to recognize our sovereignty. And once we do this, ladies and gentlemen, United States of Biafra, USB for short, will be among the Committee of Nations that will be addressed as, sovereign country and nation. A nation with its own laws, a nation with its own, paraphernalia of, authority. A nation that can gladly hold its heads around the world among world leaders. Yes, security concerns. Yes, let's talk about security concerns. Dr. Orabueze has also highlighted the security concerns faced by Biafrans, including the activities of the Fulani terrorists and their integrated terrorists wearing uniforms. So basically, Dr. Orabueze has dwelt so much on the security concerns concerning the Biafran people. She has always highlighted, the concerns faced by Biafrans, especially because of the Fulani jihadis who, pretend to be cattle rearers, to be nomads, meanwhile branding AK-47 rifles, sophisticated bomb-making appliances, and all sorts of dangerous weapons. And of course, these people will come, pretending to be normal cattle rearers, but causing hate, mayhem, destroying communities, destroying their farmlands, killing and maiming our people, and they have set villages on fire. People are scampering for safety because of the Fulani jihadists and the reintegrated terrorists wearing uniforms. Of course, we know that when Boko Haram insurgents are arrested, I don't know why the government of the day, of the zoo, once again, when you have arrested these people, you should deal with them decisively. You say, look, we are taking them for rehabilitations. They have recanted. They have shown remorse. Of course, you are free now. You give them some money and you tell them you can join any of the, armed forces. Of course, these people go back. Of course, like we know, blood is thicker than water. Of course, they know who their leaders are. They go back and continue, to expose military strengths and military plans of the Nigerian security operatives. And every time they confront these insurgents, these terrorists, of course, they have met a massive blow. They have met a massive defeat, because the same people you are going to fight are the people whose members you have reintegrated into your security network. And they give them information and they swoop on you and you are sorry. Unfortunately, that has been this, security concerns that Dr. Orabueze has continued to highlight all over the world, and she's doing very well at it. Overall, if I want to make an assessment of Dr. Orabueze's leadership and challenges, I think I would just say that overall, Dr. Orabueze's challenges are multifaceted and complex, requiring strategic leadership and diplomacy to navigate the intricacies of the Biafra struggle. Yes, Ngozi Orabueze's effectiveness as a leader in the United States of Biafra can be evaluated based on several factors. Yes, I want to tell you this. I think if you want to know how effective Dr. Ngozi Orabueze's leadership in the United States of Biafra is, you can evaluate it based on these factors. Let us consider the leadership experience and skills. Her leadership experience and skills. As a seasoned professional with expertise in health management, Dr. Orabueze brings valuable skills to her role, including strategic planning and problem solving. Her experience as a family nurse practitioner and involvement in drafting the Biafran Constitution demonstrates her capability in leadership and governance. Make no doubt about that. She has demonstrated her capability and capacity in leadership and governance. Yes, diplomatic efforts. Dr. Orabueze has engaged in international diplomacy, meeting with global leaders and organizations, such as the FBI in the United States, to advocate for Biafra's cause and sovereignty. Her meetings with international bodies and leaders have helped raise awareness about the Biafran struggle and garnered support for the United States of Biafra. Strategic leadership. As Deputy Prime Minister and Chief of Staff, Dr. Orabueze has provided stability and continuity in leadership, ensuring the USB's goals and vision remain on track. Equally, her leadership style has been described as strong and resilient, with some predicting she may be even more effective than previous leaders in achieving Biafra's independence. Yes, challenges and criticisms. Yes, despite our strength, yes, we must look at her challenges. We must look at some of the areas we think she has to, strengthen her weakness. Yes, despite her strengths, Dr. Orabueze faces challenges, including internal conflict within the USB and external criticisms, some of which are fueled by gender bias and cultural stereotypes. Of course, we all know, even Nigeria as a country has not been able to achieve a female presidency. So you can imagine that when the United States of Biafra, situations caused our prime ministers to step aside because of trials by Finnish authorities. He handed the baton over, to his selected chief of staff, Dr. Ngozi Orabueze, and of course she transited there and then to a deputy prime minister. Of course, since then she has been at the helm of affairs of Biafra. She has been at the helm of affairs of the United States of Biafra, and of course, of course there'll be gender bias. A lot of men are feeling, yes, I should be there, it shouldn't be her. She's a woman. A woman's place in the kitchen. A woman's place is in the kitchen. A lot of people have come out to say, no, it can never be her. She's a woman, for crying out loud. It can never be her. It can never be her. Come on. Give a man the job. Yes, people like, let me not call names. We know a lot of them who have come out to say no, But of course, these are gender biases and these are cultural stereotypes. However, it is worthy of note that her determination and commitment to the Biafran cause have earned her recognition and support from many within the USB and beyond. Overall, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Ngozi Orabueze's leadership in the USB is marked by her strategic thinking, diplomatic efforts, and resilience in the face of challenges. While opinions about her effectiveness may vary, her dedication to the Biafran cause is undeniable. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a brief synopsis of Dr. Ngozi Orabueze, Chief of Staff and now Deputy Prime Minister of the United States of Biafra. Yes, I might not be talking of her most of the time. I might not be calling her name most of the time, but I want us to know that she is a lady in whom I am well pleased. And I'm happy that the Biafra Superstars media in its entirety devotes every day almost a daily reportage about her activities and about all her efforts, to achieve the sovereignty of the redeclared United States of Biafra. Ladies and gentlemen, we must give her kudos. This is an exemplary woman, who has shown that gender is not by any means a disqualification. Gender is not an excuse to be a leader. Gender is not, a barrier to good leadership and, achievement of, goals and purposes. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to still make a clarion call to all of us, peace-loving people of Biafra, freedom lovers, people of Biafra extraction. Let us rally around once again. Let all hands be on deck. Let's motivate. Let's support in every way we can. Let us make sure that every other day we are thinking about the already declared United States of Biafra. We are thinking about Dr. Ngozi Orabueze. She's taking us to higher places. She's taking the United States of Biafra to higher places. And of course, success. Success is definitely her target. How do they say it? Alota continua, victory asserta. For us, it is never over until it's over. Forward ever, backward never. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Ngozi Orabueze is the Deputy Prime Minister of Biafra. With her, where Biafra is going to go places. With her, Biafra will get its recognition. With her, we will fight on until our two prominent leaders, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, who is undergoing trial, at High Court Abuja under the Justice James Omotosho, court jurisdiction, and our own Prime Minister Simon Ekpa, who is also being tried at the same time in Finland. Yes, she is fighting vigorously for these two prominent leaders to come out. And she has put a lot at stake. She has said enough, walked the talk, put herself at risk without minding, what happens to her, what happens to her family. She has made, massive, very, very human sacrifices to make sure United States of Biafra succeed. We must commend her, we must support her, and of course, we should all show her loyalty. God bless the redeclared United States of Biafra. Long live the United States of Biafra. Blessings to our Mazemon leader, Mazen Namdekano. Blessings to Simon Ekpa. And of course, kudos to Dr. Ngozi Orabueze for fighting the fight and making sure that Biafra did not end. Biafra was not in any way diminished because of the arrest of Simon Njoko. No way. Instead, she unilaterally made sure the declaration which Simon Ekpa had promised slated for 2nd December 2024. She made sure it happened. And I'm happy equally when she agreed that the 30th May 2025 should be declared a holiday to recognize the heroes and heroines who died, who were martyred, who were butchered during the genocide within the Civil War. She made sure that day was recognized and everybody sat at home despite the efforts, wicked efforts of the zoo government, including the Southeast governors who did everything they could, including intimidation, including harassment, including threats, including arresting innocent IPOB members. They wanted to frustrate that stay at home. And of course, they failed. And the stay at home was fully observed in the whole Southeast. And we're praying, and people are advocating that it becomes a national holiday, which I know our able Prime Minister, Deputy Prime Minister, Dr. Ngozi Orabueze, will bring to fruition. Ladies and gentlemen, that's about it. I'm happy to come your way. Yes, if you have issues, let me know. You want me to talk about anything, let me know. God bless you. Thank you.
Yeah, Biafra. Yeah, Superstar Media. Tell me about Biafra. We going back to the motherland. Tell me about Biafra. I wanna know. Tell me about Biafra. We going back to the motherland. Tell me about Biafra. I wanna know. We going back to the land. We going back to the motherland. Biafra. Tell me about Biafra. We going back to the land. Tell me about Biafra. We going back to the motherland. Tell me about Biafra. Tell me about Biafra. We going back to the land.